Back.
Good morning, good afternoon, wherever it is that you are
Right?
on this Revenge of the Fifth.
Revenge of the Fifth. Um, it's been a while.
It has.
So we didn't do a podcast a couple weeks ago because where were we for team building exercises?
Disney! And it was awesome. It was.
It was great. It was so much fun.
It
was fun.
had a bit of drama that made it take a different turn, but we made the most of it.
Yeah. No, it was really nice. We got to see everybody and hang out and do all that good fun stuff. So big announcements to come up. We're going to talk about that and much more.
Yes.
After this in 3, 2, 1.
Big Duke 6 Eagle Thrust. Put on Sidewalk, sing it loud. And the Romeo Foxtrot, shall we dance?
You are listening to the SITREP podcast, your source for everything related to historical wargaming. Whether you are looking for the latest wargaming news, reviews, painting tutorials, or playthroughs, you will hear about it right here. So grab your favorite beverage or brush and let's hit it.
All right, we're back.
We are back. Hey,
Ed,
did you know that
no,
stormtroopers do not celebrate Revenge of the Fifth?
no.
They always miss it.
But
You're welcome.
welcome everybody to the show. So some big announcements came out. We'll talk about those and much more. And it's gonna might be a little noisy in the background today. Somehow we ended up with another puppy.
She's so cute, but she's all puppy.
Yeah. So let me go into chat and we'll go from that. Also, what are you even doing hobby wise while I do this?
Not a whole lot because we have been on vacation and then made another marathon road trip to collect the puppy this weekend. But I have been playing a lot more of my Magic on Arena. So that has been my latest thing. I've been drafting Thunder Junction.
Mm-hmm.
It's gone. I mean, I love the cards a lot, but I don't know. I need to work with it some more. I've done 4 drafts so far, and really only one of them went well. The other ones were 3 up, 3 down. Well, no, maybe not. I think I won 1 maybe in each of them. But yeah, that's pretty much it for me right now. So your hobby's been very different. You've been hobbying, but in an extremely different way.
Yeah, and we'll talk about that shortly. But as far as traditional gaming, not much.
Yeah.
To be told truthful. So, but we'll talk about that. Yeah. So we'll talk about that shortly. Let me see if I just change this to this different one. Interesting. Okay. All right. So what have you guys been doing? I guess what we need to do first and foremost is I need to go into another channel we have. Why is it not coming up? This is weird. Things are weird. And so I'm sorry, I'm trying to log into a podcast because we need to announce a winner, don't we?
I almost forgot about that.
Yes.
Because in that last episode, we talked about picking the winner from the Clash of Steel set, right? At Adepticon, and that person never responded.
Yep.
So, which is their loss and someone else's gain now.
Yep.
So that's what we need to announce.
Okay. Jim says he can jump in. Let me.
Oh, so now we will need headphones.
Well, hold on a minute. Let me see if I can get it up and running. All this stuff. Just stop. Oh boy. Everybody's making everything so difficult for me today.
While we're killing time, I can tell you I have been very good and I have not been on Kickstarter very much at all. But I did peek on there this morning just because I was looking to see if there was like anything newsworthy that we needed to make sure we discussed. And I did find some cool stuff on there. Nothing that I was like, oh my gosh, I need to buy this, but just some interesting things.
Yeah.
One of the things I know I had pointed out to Bill, which I thought was kind of cool, and maybe somebody's done this already, but it's the first time I've noticed it. You know, obviously the 3D printing stuff is the wave of the future, and a lot of the Kickstarter stuff anymore tends to be STL files for various things, whether it's models or terrain or whatever,
Right.
for you to be able to print. But I saw one for rollers for bases for different textures. And I thought that was pretty slick. I don't think I've seen that before. You know, we've seen the companies that you can buy them from, like at Adepticon and whatever, for you to roll across your green stuff, you know, make your own base materials. But I've never seen 3D printed ones. And so it was a whole range of rollers with different patterns and textures. I thought it was pretty slick.
Rolling.
Okay, it's gonna go like this today.
You guys can join us in the comments if you like.
Yeah, please.
You know, I know this is a last minute schedule change, and we apologize for that. We were on the road to Ohio and back, so kind of hard to do a live stream.
And it was
podcast.
an interesting trip back with the puppy. I'm very glad we didn't try to do it because unfortunately she was car sick. Yeah, there's too many jokes to be made. I'm not even going to say the other part, but yeah, it was a mess in the car, and so about half of the trip was like that. The second half got much better, but that would have been a literal and figurative disaster had we attempted to do that.
True. All right, so let us talk about the big announcement.
Mm-hmm.
So, as you all know, we go to Adepticon on a regular basis.
Yep.
And this year, a lot of people made the observation that it was very crowded. We've known that for the last several years. Parking was ridiculous. There just isn't enough parking. And
Even
it's not
with-
Adepticon's fault.
No.
It's the venue that they use, which is the Schaumburg Renaissance Convention Center in Illinois. And I'll be honest with you, looking back and thinking about it, whoever designed that setup, and I'm talking the building, the convention center, they did not plan enough parking.
No, honestly, and for where they have the lots that they do have, why no one went parking garage? Because you just could have raised up that footprint and voila, problem solved. Still wouldn't have solved the capacity limit that Adepticon has reached recently. That's a different issue, but just a parking piece. I mean, you know, they do the best that they can, and being that they run the shuttles back and forth, so you can park over at the alternate at the Hyatt site, and shuttle back and forth. That is a great thing. But it definitely added a layer of complexity to our work with it being staged at the Hyatt, when you needed to be able to be strategic about making the most of your time, and hopping back and forth is tricky. Tricky. You're welcome. There we go. So it's going to be podcast, the musical.
Yay. All right.
So, but I'm assuming you're leading up to the big news with this?
I am.
So what are you looking for?
I'm still looking for comments on the last
Okay. So,
video
well,
we did.
then I'm just going to spill it.
Keep going. Keep
So,
going.
if you follow Adepticon's feeds at all, they dropped a huge announcement. It's probably been 2 weeks now, right? Because we didn't podcast the last weekend when we were scheduled to. And it is moving locations. And it's not moving a location in the Chicago area. It is hopping up to Milwaukee.
Yes.
There's been a lot of feedback on it, you know, and it's one of these things. You're never going to make everybody happy, right? You're just not. It's going to be an inconvenience for somebody. The people that have been very spoiled with it being in the Chicago area. What?
No, go ahead, because I have a rebuttal.
Oh, okay.
Well, not even a rebuttal. I'm going to really lay it out on the line.
Okay.
So.
But you know, when we lived in the Chicago area, we were very spoiled and it was very convenient because even if you didn't stay there, you could commute back and forth, like it had its benefits. And now it's in Milwaukee. So it would be a farther drive for those of us, that were in that area and used to having that convenience. Now it did add a little bit of an added logistics issue for our international travelers and even just out of state vendors, people that are flying in, right? Because O'Hare was very convenient and close and probably the easiest for sure, the easiest international wise to get in and out of. Not that it's not an option up in the Milwaukee area, but people are just gonna have to plan different.
Mm-hmm.
However, this convention center is it Baird? Bard?
I'll
Baird?
bring it up here shortly. But yeah.
It looks like we're going to be able to have everything under one roof in this location, which I think, speaking probably for the majority of us, I think we can all agree that that is preferable, right? Because people that were gaming, people that are playing the games, whether you are like a 40K person, so your life was in the main venue at the Renaissance, or if you're a historical person and your life has been mainly in the historical at the Hyatt, depending on how ingrained into the tournaments you were, it could potentially leave very little time for hopping over and exploring the other stuff, especially while things are open. Like with the vendor halls, they're not open the whole time. Like obviously you can game 24/7 there if you want to,
Mhm.
but everybody doesn't stay open like that. So if your gaming occurs during the regular business hours of that vendor hall, you kind of miss out a little bit. So having everything under one roof so that when you do have half an hour, 45 minutes of downtime between your matches or whatever, you can pop over and check that stuff out. So now you won't miss out.
Right. So
Where were you going with it?
I'm going to play the negative.
Okay.
So it is a nice convention center. Let's start with the positive, shall we?
Yeah.
Let me share that screen. I'm going to stop sharing this one. And then I'm going to share the Baird Center. Not the map, but the actual centaur. Here it is. Share. So it is a nice center. And like Dawn said, everybody will be able to play under one roof, right? It does look very nice. It's very modern. They just remodeled, if you will. However, there's no hotels connected to it. So you no longer have the option of staying on site.
They said there's 3 connected by Skyways. That is what our Adepticon folks have pointed out.
Well, let's look. Let's look where to stay.
I will tell you at quick glance, those 3 very expensive relative to anything else. We've already secured a room and it's at least a block away. Like it's walkable, but it isn't, again, the slight lack of convenience in that you can't very easily just pop to your room to rest for 10 minutes before you go on to your next thing. But the price was significantly less than one of those.
So when you click on the hotels on Baird's site, it doesn't say what's connected.
Let me try to find the post.
I have the post here though, but additionally,
I don't think
there's no on-site parking, so you have to park a couple blocks away. So if you're carrying stuff,
I missed that.
If you have to carry stuff like your big displays and stuff, you either have an unloading zone or you're gonna have to carry it.
The red zone is for loading and unloading.
Right, exactly.
No.
So let's talk about the big elephant in the room. The big elephant in the room is it's Milwaukee. Milwaukee's a great town. I am not going to do anything to bash Milwaukee. However, it is not convention friendly in this aspect. Now, for other conventions, it's probably great. But when you're talking about people coming over the world and the country, it's going to be very different. It's going to be very challenging. It's not easy.
Yeah.
Milwaukee is not an international city. It's not an international gateway as far as I'm aware of. Maybe it's changed. But when you look at the map, let me stop this and I will bring up the actual. Oh, there's Jim. Hi, Jim.
Hello, how you doing?
Uh-oh.
Here we go with this, huh?
Are we having those issues again?
It seems like it.
Hello, hello, hello.
Do you have anything over here that you needed to switch?
No, there's
Okay.
nothing from our standpoint.
Hello, is that better?
Can hear you, Jim.
All right, cool.
I'm trying to find a comment because they specifically answered somebody's question.
All right, it is playing on my side.
I feel like it was Greg that answered. Of course, at this point in the game now, there is like a billion comments on this post. So it's not quite as easy to find.
So anyway, while we're getting Jim scored away here, okay, so
John can
Okay,
hear
here
me,
we
okay?
go. Well,
all
nearby.
right, well
hotel-
they can hear Jim, but we can't hear Jim.
That's weird.
That's extremely.
What's going on, John? How you doing?
You hear him at all on your
No.
side? Okay, hold on. Let me check
No
a
worries.
setting here. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3.
So somebody specifically asked, will nearby hotels have blocked off rooms for Adepticon goers? And they answered absolutely 4 times the number of connected hotel rooms in the block, all in due time. And it says you're not going to find accurate information online right now because the hotel block has not been announced yet and prices will not be significantly more. Okay, well, that's reassuring. So it sounds like it should be in line with what we've already gotten used to.
Mm-hmm. Morning, John. Let me get Jim fixed. Yeah, we're not hearing because when I do the test,
Yeah.
I'm not hearing anything at all.
So another one of their posts says there are 3 attached hotels with parking decks. They didn't say which ones they are. I really thought I read that, but maybe that's all I saw is that there are 3.
Oh, audio output, you dumbass.
Let's see. So yeah, I mean,
Can you hear us now, Jim?
I can always hear you.
I still can't hear him. I can see you when you're talking. It's just not outputting. All right. You know, some days it just doesn't pay. Yeah, what is going on? I can always hear you. Can you hear me now? Nope, can't hear you at all. It's
No, I'm saying I
like
can
you're not
hear
getting
you now.
input. Oh, you know what? I know why. Click. See that blue button? Wi-Fi. Yeah, hit that one. Okay. I know why. Just 1 second, folks. I'll get fixed real quick.
So since the
I know
audience
why.
can hear me, hello everyone.
There. Well, it says it's connected.
why is it blinking?
I'll remove it and reconnect it. Yes. Remove device. Yes.
This doesn't indicate that it's muted, correct?
No, that's if you highlight it. See, that's
Oh.
me.
Tricky. That's going to be the theme of the show.
Up.
I hear
Jim?
something.
Yep.
There he is.
Yay!
There we
We
go.
had to disconnect and reconnect. Okay, freaking awesome. All right, so we're talking about the venue movement for Adepticon, and I was about to spiel the negatives. The biggest negative is our international friends. There's not a lot of direct flights to Milwaukee from around the world. Usually you have to go through Chicago, New York, somewhere and do a connecting flight. The other problem is,
Which again, to play the Pollyanna side of things, it's still doable.
it's
Even if you
doable,
have to do that. Yes,
but it's doable. You are 100%
There's no
correct.
direct flight to Lancaster, Pennsylvania for Historicon. There's no direct flight to Coleraine for when we used to go over there. I mean,
That's
That's
true.
true.
Those events aren't the size of Adepticon, admittedly, but
But and you know what? You raise a really interesting point, Jim, because our friends from across the pond are also not used to having to drive far to go to things
Right.
when they do it either. Like for us, it's
that's what happens when your country's the size of a postage stamp.
exactly yeah, it's an everyday occurrence for us. So, you know, a 45-minute trip on top of wherever you fly to is not unreasonable.
That's
Or
that's the norm.
typical.
Yeah.
I drive
All right.
45 minutes. I haven't left my county.
Yeah, exactly.
So if you look at the map here, you'll see Milwaukee Airport down at the south end of the map, all the way up here. Now, I don't know what the scale is here. Let me see if I can take a look just roughly. Well, let's just do this. Baird Center directions, Milwaukee Airport. Milwaukee Airport. It's a 14-minute drive.
Oh, so that's not bad.
It's not bad. So the point is that, yes, it's going to be a new thing. It's going to add 2 hours onto our drive. Hold on. Got to take care of a puppy. But anyways, morning, Dennis. Morning, John. It's going to add travel time onto a majority of the attendees. Now, those coming from Wisconsin, Minnesota, Northern Michigan, they're going to be great. It's much closer, and we're very happy for you guys. I don't want to discount anything. And to be truthful, Adepticon probably didn't have much options when it came to changing a venue this late in the game for next year, because most places are booked, right? So, what was I going to say? So, you know, sometimes you just get what you get. You know, people are like, well, why couldn't we use the convention center in Des Plaines, which is just down the road from Schaumburg? But, you know, that one's probably booked out years ahead of time. So
It most definitely is.
Yeah.
And size-wise, I don't even know.
it's bigger.
Well, it's bigger, but again, if you got everything under one roof, it probably maxed. I would imagine it might have maxed out that also,
It's possible.
meaning no more growth.
Well, it's possible. I mean, they have some pretty good size there. But anyways, when you get something like that, so yes, nobody likes change. Some people like change more than others. Some people really don't like change. We'll have to see. We're going to reserve our opinions, and it'll
I'm
be interesting to
excited.
see what the feedback will be for that.
I just really love the idea of not having the blatant separation of the historical stuff from everything else.
Yeah.
Like, I think just have it all together.
Well, the other thing is that some people are going to be a little upset because you don't have parking right there, right?
Yeah.
You're going to be a couple blocks away instead of parking in a parking lot right outside the convention center and literally walking a few hundred feet. So it'll be interesting. Afternoon, tough ears. Afternoon, everyone. Marty being kicked out. No, Marty is serving breakfast or something at his church
We
today.
kicked him out.
So, you know, it is what it is. He's got to repent for all his sins.
Yes.
So, so let's switch gears. The other announcement to that is, let me clear this one out, is that, let me close that, is that Atomic Mass Games has announced that they are going to have all of their grand tournaments at Adepticon.
Yep.
So, people were asking what's going to happen with tournament play and all that. So,
Yeah, it was interesting because they made their announcements like in 2 phases, and their initial announcement was not met, I would say, with the most positive of lights,
Right.
because it basically implied, I mean, it stated that they were totally changing their tournament structure.
right.
And it kind of gave the impression that that meant it was going to maybe not be at Adepticon, or they wouldn't have the same level of gameplays available at Adepticon. And there was a whole thread of conversation about people complaining that that was going to lose player base at the convention, like, and that it would really hurt from that aspect. So then maybe a week after that initial announcement came out, this follow-up one came out, which totally clarified and sorted that out. So
there's that. So there will be organized convention tournament play. I mean, Adepticon, that's really what it's basis is tournament play.
Yeah.
Right. It started out as a basically 40K tournament or event, and then grew from there. So there's that. Okay, Jim, I haven't talked to you in a while. Saw some pictures. What you up to?
Quite a bit, actually. So yesterday at Dust Creek House, home of South Florida Miniatures Gaming Club, we ran a game of Plastic Soldier Company's Battle Group. Excuse me. Plastic Soldier Company's Battle Group, commemorating the 80th anniversary of the Anzio Breakout. So this year, of course, we're coming up into June 2024. Everybody and their ne'er-do-well brother-in-law is gonna be doing Normandy. Isn't Band of Brothers great? No. So we're gonna be, or at least I'm gonna be doing some other stuff. Wow, there's other battles that always get kind of swept under the rug because everyone's focusing too much on Normandy. So we're gonna be doing again the Anzio Breakout, which was happening at almost the same time. Big marine operations over in the Pacific, the invasion of the Marianas, the invasion of Saipan, stuff like that. We won't be completely kicking Normandy under the rug. I do have some Sword Beach footage from a great game of Mark Ritchie's Tactical Combat in 15mm, which, by the way, is now available on War Games Vault if you guys want to check it out. So he's like commercially publishing his game. So yeah, we'll be having some World War II Normandy stuff coming up in early June. Meanwhile, we're going to have 2 parts of Anzio coming out. Those are the pictures that you saw on our Facebook page today. I'm getting some great response to that on our Discord, on a bunch of other Facebook groups, as well as our own. Well, thank you.
Yep.
And yeah, it was a pretty good game too. Sometimes Battle Group is a little like, sometimes Battle Group isn't quite like tournament, or not tournament friendly. What's the word I'm thinking of? Like club friendly or convention friendly, because it's a little in depth compared to some other systems that are out there. But the majority of the players yesterday handled it great, and even though it was their first time playing it for a lot of them, and it went pretty well. So we'll be doing that, and I also got the mat for a beach assault on Saipan, which will be running probably sometime in early June, and then probably featuring on our channel in a video format sometime in mid or late June, near to the 80th anniversary of those landings. So that's kind of what's going on my table. We did the 80th anniversary of Kohima in Impal. That's a battle way out in what is today, well, it's still India, but it's right along the border of India and Burma. We did that in Valor and Victory. We had a couple episodes on that. So, you know, keeping up with the 80th anniversary stuff, which really gets busy during the summer because that's when a lot of the campaigns take place. And yeah, just keep putting content on the channel.
Nice.
Awesome.
All right. So I'm trying to bring it up. Why it's not coming up? Yeah. Stop it. So speaking of 80th anniversaries, there is another 80th anniversary coming up this year. I'm trying to log into Kickstarter so we can see, but it's like not playing nice with me here, folks. I apologize. Sake. All these stupid extra security nowadays. Okay.
Put your password in, not that password.
Exactly. All right. Sorry, guys. Let me share this page with you as soon as it comes up. There it is. Okay. Because, you know, this one's near and dear to my heart. You guys know I'm one for those lost cause, we're surrounded battles. It's brainwashing from the 82nd Airborne. You know, they taught us back in the day that we jump behind enemy lines, prepare to get surrounded, and fight our way out. So hence why I like all those battles. But so there's this one. Empress Miniatures has a Kickstarter going on right now. Arnhem Heroes #2. So you can back them for some 28mm figures based on the Battle of Arnhem in 1944. They're Empress and Paul Hicks minis. They look tremendously awesome. There is Major Robert Kane, Victoria Cross winner. And you can add on the original ones too. So so they're, you know, maybe a little bit. I don't know when these are going to come out. Please tell me they come out before
September.
Yeah, right.
That would be nice.
Yeah.
They should be out now, so you have time to paint them and build them, because those don't paint quick.
That's very
28
true.
mil, you'll spend some time on them.
Oh, there's a lot of X3s. Oh, when is it supposed to come out? Let's see. Let's see when it's shipping.
Now, John, for the poles, you could probably use the same figures, right? You would just have to paint the berets a different color, if I'm not mistaken. I know, like that maroon or brick red is what you would use for the or mulberry red, whatever kind of red you call it, would be for the British Airborne. And the poles, I know they're carrying the same weapons, they're carrying the same uniforms. They just have, I think, a different color beret, if I'm not completely mistaken.
They had a maroon beret, but I believe they had a Polish crest on theirs.
Okay, well, you're gonna do that in 28 millimeter, but I mean, I think the beret itself is a different color. That's how you tell.
October is expected delivery.
That's galactically unhelpful.
Oh, Lordy be. But yeah, I thought that was really cool.
Hey, but for the next anniversary, will be good.
Right. So Patchwork Pictures asked, did the Poles have any different equipment? Not really, because they were stationed out of Britain. You know, they left Poland after the Blitz and made their way to Britain, and so they were using British kit for the most part.
Yeah, the same British camouflage, everything, the Sten guns, it's all exactly the same. The only difference, I think, is like I think it's either blue or green. There's a different color beret.
Oh, you're right. I think you're right. I think it's a kind of a blue, right? Or is that? Now, but let me look. World War II.
Green would remind me of Royal Marines, so that's probably not it. They have like that dark hunter green. The dark red is the Royal Paras, and I'm pretty sure
they were blue.
Okay.
Oh no, Berman. Hold on a minute. Of course, I'm looking at all these old goofy pictures. Polish Independent Parachute Brigade.
Sauerbowski.
Yep. Gene Hackman did an excellent job. I mean, historically there was some differences, but
black and white photos, that doesn't help.
Yeah, black and white photos don't help, buddy. It's hard to see in this picture. But yeah. Oh, Stanislaw Slabowski right there. Yeah, looking at his beret, it is actually dark. So I'm not sure. It's a painting, of course, but it's a dark beret. Oh, you know what? Let's see how a bridge too far.
Oh, we can't go watch the movie. Well,
oh, come on.
That movie's better than most.
Oh, wait. Here it is right here, buddies. Let me get it right here. Jim, you have been right again, sir. Let me share this screen. Dun, dun, dun.
I actually dropped this ball on an episode of XLBS.
Look at that right there.
They didn't tell me I was going to be on camera, and it was somebody's Golden Button award that day. And unscripted, they threw it at me. I'm like, that's British kit, but I don't know about those blue berets. I don't understand what's going on with that.
Yep, kind of a dark navy-ish beret with their Polish crests. So there you go, right there. Only one of the greatest war movies ever.
It's up there.
Next to The Patriot.
All right, I'm just going to go ahead and let that one slide.
Jim's like, I think there's a problem with the audio. That didn't come through.
Awesome. All right.
He is trying to get a rise out of a Oriskany day. You guys don't pack the numbers. Nobody here packs the numbers. It was all used up yesterday at the club.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, so there is that. Also, so yeah, those Empress minis look pretty nice. So if unfortunately they won't be there until after, but I think Wave 1's available on Empress's site. And there's other places to get minis if you want to do on Arnhem. Speaking of which, my 3D printer finally arrived. It arrived this past week. So I haven't unboxed it yet because I promised you guys when it came that we would do an unboxing because people were to guess which of those three I chose. So we will be doing an unboxing video for next Sunday.
There you go.
Also, the hobbying that Dawn is speaking of has something to do with this mug right here. So I am creating different printing things. And this one says, it's maybe hard on camera to see, but this is my war face. You remember a certain gunny in a certain movie asking everybody to show him their war face? Jim, you
I
should know
remember
that.
it happening in real life, but yeah.
Mhm.
So we now have a Viking, and this is my war face. You can get on a mug, you can get on a t-shirt, whatnot. We'll be coming up with numerous designs. Our one store is now closed officially, or should be, but you can go to, let me share this screen real quick. Right here to What's Your Need Custom Printing. And if you scroll down, you go to shop categories, War Gamers Wear. If you go in there, you can get, as you can see, we only have the one product right now. Is that I have to bring over, migrate stuff over from the SITREP, but you can get the war face in a camp mug, a beer stein, a coffee cup, or if you want the full stein, if you're, if you're playing Saga or something, it's perfect. We're going to offer different faces options at some point. We just did the Viking first. So, or if you want, if you're going to a tournament, you want to intimidate somebody, you can do it as a t-shirt, a hoodie, or just a regular sweatshirt. And they come in white, black, and gray. So there you go. So there you go. All right, let me stop sharing that. All right, so it's What You Need Custom Printing, or I'll put up a link here. Let me fix that link real quick so we can do that. It's captions, right? Captions. Let me get rid of that one and remove. Yes. And then we're going to add one, and we're going to call them custom merch. www.
Yeah. So to this point, if you guys have good ideas, you're like, hey, I would really like to see something, specific to whatever. I mean, let us know, because we are looking for additional ideas.
Or
and
if you
things,
have
too.
something you would like if you're let's say a Kings of War player and you want a unique Kings of War shirt or mug or something, we can do it for you. It's all custom work. So it's a print on, we print in-house. It's not a print on demand where, some other company somewhere in the world is printing for you. So there you go. Custom merch at that. All right, let's go back to chat. You need a shot to Marty falling off the chair. We can do it. We can do
That is the best idea yet.
it. Okay.
Yeah, because we exclusively own the rights to that one. There's
Exactly.
no copyright infringement
All right.
there.
So Jim's doing Anzio for the 80th anniversary. I'm trying to, once I get the 3D printer up running, go ahead, Jim.
Anzio followed by Sword Beach, followed by Saipan.
There you go.
And that'll be through June.
There you go. And then I'm seriously looking at Arnhem for September. I got to print some buildings. I'll get this 3D print. I'll probably have to get a filament printer too, just for buildings, because resin, that'd be a lot of resin for buildings.
Are you doing like 101st, 82nd? I'm assuming 82nd. As far as the three major zones.
Yeah, you know what, Jim? Do you think we can do one of your games and see if we can actually connect the units this time? Do you think we could have a different? I don't know what level you would have to play at.
That's operational. If you want to do the whole Hell's Highway, the whole.
See if we could actually.
Yeah, I mean, there are games published out there for it. I think one of them's called Hell's Highway. Another one's called Gateway to Arnhem or Gateway to the Reich. There's people have done it a bunch of times. Where like each piece is going to be either a division, brigade, or a regiment.
Yeah.
As opposed to it wouldn't be a miniatures game.
No. Yeah. Hell's Highway Operation Market Garden. It's an operational level simulation game. Okay.
I've never. It's just off the top of my head.
Yeah.
I have no idea if it's any good or not. I mean, I don't think I've ever played it.
I mean, we could do I personally could do a skirmish-ish, an area in Arnhem, you know, some British versus Germans. I know people have done Arnhem before. I've seen Flames of War, and I think I've seen some bolt action. Oh, speaking of which, how did I forget about that? Anyways, but let me finish that thought first. But I was thinking maybe
Arnhem would be tough because it's almost completely urban. You need a crap load of buildings.
Yeah, I was just thinking maybe on a larger scale, because I know that's where you excel, is that maybe we could kind of recreate Operation Market Garden to see if we could actually, you know, meet the timeline or not. You know what I mean?
We could do like a little mini version of the World War 2.5 system.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, if that's something you might be interested in, just let me know. You know, obviously depending on your schedule as well, but
It's way off in September, so yeah,
I want to.
there's definitely time.
Also, there is another big announcement that came out recently. There is. I'm trying to find the announcements. Let's go to Warlord. Oh, they're not going to announce it here. Anyways, don't buy the second edition of War Bolt Action because
Edition of Bolt Action. Okay.
they're making a third edition. So a new edition's coming out. So just to let you know, I'm trying to find the announcement here, but I just keep getting the store itself. So, but yes, they are coming out with a. Let me see here, under community and resources, Soldier of Fortune mission, blah blah blah. Here it is. September of 2024 is third edition. So if I was you, if you've been thinking about getting into Bolt Action, is to wait until September when third edition comes out.
September 24th, 2024. That's what
Yep.
that says. All right.
Yeah. So it'll be interesting to see if they have any special two-player starter set for third edition. They usually do something big.
What do you think they're gonna do different?
I think they're going to clean up the
third-
rules because they're saying they're going to use the same dice and templates
because
and
the
tokens.
rules were pretty easy to begin with.
Yeah, somebody beat me in a Bolt Action who never plays historical games.
It might have been me, just saying.
Yeah, she beat me. I think it's one of those, you know.
For once, I actually rolled well. Let's just call it what it is, and it was the order of which things were pulled out of the bag. So
Yeah. Free rule book of third for any starter sets you buy now. Just need to pay for shipping. Oh, really?
that's cool.
Nice.
Yeah, that's awesome. So I'm not saying don't buy Bolt Action stuff. Just, you know, the new rules will be coming out in September. So it'll be interesting to see a comparison, what they've done to them. You know, Alessio, we could always try and reach out to Alessio. See if he give us any insight. Oh, speaking of insights and other announcements, Jim.
Yep.
I feel really bad. I don't think I've messaged him back because that's when everything got crazy. I was contacted by the head of HMGS, and they would like us to come to Historicon and cover it for them.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so I have to reach out to him and get with him. And I apologize severely that I haven't had a chance to sit down and do that. Just traveling and everything's been
that's
crazy.
when it's like
July.
Yeah.
July.
Yeah,
Get
so
ready to-
Pennsylvania. So
Yep.
you fly into Philadelphia, and that's like a 2-hour drive from there.
yeah, or just take the corporate jet.
Should we start complaining now?
Shut up, man.
Asking for a friend.
Complaining now. What about the drive? Well, the one
Yeah.
time I was there was with on Tabletop, and they sent the convention director sent his wife out to pick us up.
Oh,
2 hours
really?
there, 2 hours back. Yeah,
wow.
it was. They really kind of rolled out the red carpet for us. It was sweet.
Yep.
Free room, free board.
Nice.
They gave us this little room. It's kind of off to the side for our little media center. We had to share it with the guys from Little Wars,
Uh-huh.
and Lindy Bage was there as well. We kind of shared it with him for a while. I think that's his name. I'm probably getting his name wrong. He's some famous YouTube guy. Yeah, it's like this boardroom with like the flag of Pennsylvania on one side, the U.S. flag on the other. He's at the head of the table, and it's like, gentlemen, I'd like to thank you all for coming here on such short notice. I'm gonna go ahead and make my press statement now. I cannot confirm or deny that I'm running for office. It was pretty cool,
That's
Nice.
awesome.
but if they're holding it at the same place,
I think so.
Yeah.
Dennis says he thought it was the corporate Huey. God, I wish. That would be cool. Loud as hell, drafty, but that'd be cool.
It would be an entrance with style for
Oh, hell yeah.
if it was gonna be a corporate, I thought you like the Bell 222, so you could do the whole Airwolf thing.
Oh,
If we're going with a corporate helicopter,
right? Hell, I'll settle for a Blackhawk. Hey, if Heavy D can have his own Blackhawk, I want a Blackhawk.
that's a big bird, man. I had really no idea the difference, like how big a we never had them in the Marine Corps when I was in. How big a Blackhawk actually was. So I got one in 1-72, and then for the Mogadishu game, it had a little bird at 1-72, and I was like, man, they call it the little bird for a reason. That thing is like, and then the Blackhawk is like half the table. That thing's a beast.
Yeah, that'd be cool. So I will need to reach out to that young man. You know what? Let me pull up his email on my phone so I don't forget while we're talking about it. I feel really bad. I forget. HMGS.
And speaking of travel and so on, not really confirmed yet, but we are working on it. Piotr and I are going to do a meetup over in Europe
Nice.
for the 80th anniversary of the Battle of the Bulge. So we're going to be there in Belgium on all those battlefields, December of this year.
That is cool.
If it works out, I mean that's a hell of a trip, and it's like right before the holiday season too. So we are working on it.
Fingers crossed, because that sounds like it'd be awesome.
Yeah. Messenger? Maybe it was Messenger.
I think it was Messenger through the page.
Okay.
Correct?
Might be. Because I can't. It's not coming up. So I'll find it. Oh.
Good old bolt action.
Yeah. I mean, that's how I got my start in.
It's a good game to get people started. You know, it's a good gateway game.
Yep, I got it. Okay, I'll message him after the show. Okay. No, I mean that's how I got my start with On Tabletop. Beast of War was I wrote an article about the rule book.
Was it Bolt Action or Flames of War?
Bolt Action.
Okay.
That's how I found Beast.
Oh,
of
you
War
were looking
was
for stuff on Flames of War.
Flames of War coverage when they had Dave on doing. Stuff.
That's exactly how I found them.
Yep.
I was getting into, at the time there was a club near us called GXE. They're out of business now. And they were running. I was trying to get people into like real wargaming, and I was using not Axis and Allies, the board game that everybody knows. Axis and Allies actually used to make a hybrid hex / miniature in 15 mil. So I was looking for 15 millimeter stuff. Ran across Flames of War, and then ran across them. And the first episode I watched was Warren versus Dave, where Warren decided instead of his like ME-110 or whatever for his German, get the German UFO, and I'm like, okay, if the guy with the UFO loses, I'll sign up for the site because the site looks pretty cool. If the guy with the UFO loses, you know, and it turns out of the 6 games in season 1, that was the first game he lost. That was the only game he lost. So I was like, all right, cool, I'll sign up for the site.
Yep.
And the rest is history.
Yep.
To answer Tuffy Ears, no, Heavy D has 1 Blackhawk, 2 Dolphins. So those are another type of helicopter. The ones the Coast Guard uses.
Tuffy here says, Jim, are you allowed to come over here? And they dropped that lawsuit I won that lawsuit. I won that lawsuit.
The Crown Prince of Lusitania.
But I thought
No. I am actually now. I mean, it's never going to happen because of the Act of Union in the early 1600s. But I'm actually recognized as James VII of Scotland now.
Oh,
okay.
Just there you go.
Fancy.
All we have to do is get another Jacobite rebellion going to get Scotland loose of the rest of the UK, and we'll be set.
Gotcha.
When I become a sovereign head of state, all our problems are over. Trust me.
Perfect. Well, we've got that to look forward to.
Next meetup is going to be in Edinburgh. It's going to be awesome.
Nice. And that
My own castle.
Perfect.
John says the Coasties don't even use a lot of dolphins anymore. Yeah, they're phasing them out. They have this Jayhawk or Seahawk. I think it's called the Seahawk for their version. But yeah. But it's a cool little.
It's basically just the Navy's version of the Blackhawk, right?
Yeah.
The SH-60 Blackhawk, yeah.
Yeah. I think the Jayhawk's the Air Force version. I think. Everybody's got to call it something different. Why you just can't call it the Blackhawk and leave it at that?
Everyone wants their own hawk, okay?
Except the Marines.
Sure.
They don't even want Apaches.
We can't fit them in the amphibious warfare ships.
They have Super Cobras.
They have, well, they've actually finally retired those. Because, okay, so we sold a bunch of Cobras to Israel, who upgraded them to what they call the Viper. And
Right.
Now we're buying them back from Israel as upgraded as the Viper because the Marines don't care. I mean, we even use British equipment. We'll use the Harrier if that's what works for us. That's how desperate we are. The nice thing about the Viper is it's technically the AH-1Z Viper. I think it's no longer the Cobra.
Yeah.
Is it carries the 16 missile rack that the Apache does. Still doesn't have the same airframe or the same electronics as the Apache, but because the Cobra, the only real gaming difference between the Cobra and the Apache was the Apache only could carry 16, had the 4 hard points, each with 4 Hellfires, and the Cobra had half that, two pylons for 8 total Hellfires. And now the Viper carries the full 16, so it carries the same firepower as at least the missile firepower. I don't think it has the same gun, but it carries the same missile firepower as the Apache. So finally, and it still has that very slim silhouette, so we can fit it in all our, the amphibious assault ships, the LPDs, all that stuff like that. So
Yeah.
Jim, did you see John's comment? All of our
All of these
problems are over and a whole new one. will start.
I'll have lackeys and subjects to deal with that stuff for me. I promise to be an old school sovereign. It's not going to be like Prince Charles, or no, King Charles. Excuse me, King Charles III. Now, no. By the way, King Charles, watch out. What do they say in Game of Thrones? The North always remembers.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
We're coming down for you again, dude.
Goodness.
Well, what other? I think we've broke all the big news, and we're over 1,700 subscribers.
That's big news.
We
Thank
got
you,
a big push from all that Adepticon coverage.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I'll be honest with you, when I look at the analytics, about 60%, if not more, people that come to our channel are not subscribers. So if you guys could subscribe, it doesn't cost anything. And, if some of the content isn't your thing and some is, great. But it helps us out a lot. And yes, we had some great response from the convention. So, and that's what motivates me to want to go to Historicon. And Dawn is just biting at the bit to go to
So
Historicon.
excited.
So
I'll be
You
the
can
booth
tell.
girl. It'll be fine.
So, yeah.
yeah. Well, I mean, yeah. But thank you, everybody, and we'll go from there, and we should start ramping up some production here.
Dogs are crazy.
And get this 3D printer going. And like I said, I probably need an FDM printer, print terrain. And we got some other projects as well. We're looking at the possibility, it's months down the road, of being able to print our own game mats. So,
Oh, I just bought a game map. That's cool.
Did you? Yeah.
I needed a beach assault one for Saipan.
Okay.
I'm not gonna try and build another beach game. I did that once for Overlord, for like the 71st anniversary, and then 75th. Like last year, we did all of Omaha Beach and Panzer Leader. That's on our channel. That's why, again, at least me personally, I've done Normandy to death.
Yeah.
Or we're going to go to some of the other stuff that happened in the summer of '44.
Didn't your better half yell at you for getting sand all over your house after doing a table?
That was my desert boards, but yeah. You just sweep it up when you're done. But it doesn't matter because then she goes to start beating, and those beads fly everywhere, and she never gets them all. I'm stepping on them for like 3 months.
Yeah.
At least when I'm done with the desert campaign, I sweep all the sand up and don't have to worry about it anymore.
Yeah. Yeah. So
Hmm.
most definitely. All right.
Too funny.
I'm trying to think what else. It's been, post convention, things kind of slow down until Gen Con time, Origins. We have UK Games Expo at the end of this month. So
I
Tuffy
mean,
says,
not we in that we're going to.
yeah,
it 'cause
unfortunately,
we're
we
not,
won't be
but
going, but I wish we were. It's a good
Yeah.
time.
A bunch of people, I mean, none of us, but a bunch of people were at Salute. Salute was
Yeah.
after Adepticon.
Yeah, it was. Did you see any of the coverage on Salute, Jim?
Not really, no.
Okay.
Salute. I'll be honest, never really interested. I mean, number one, it's too far and too expensive. But even if I was next door to it, I probably wouldn't go. Salute just seems like a big sales event.
Yeah.
Which is why I love Historicon. Historicon is not like that. Historicon is nothing but tables. There's like a vendor's hall, but it's like tucked underneath everything else. And then the interesting spot is that I always forget the name. It's like Greg's basement, Gary's basement, whatever the hell it is. It's basically like the big flea market. Like
Oh.
that's a killer place. That's where you find like a original edition Panzer Leader still in the box, Panzer Blitz still with the red backing and the black backing. Okay, he wants $200 for the box, but I mean, you find a lot of cool stuff down there.
Yeah.
That's where I have to leave my car, my wallet in the car. Convention, I mean, like Las Vegas style,
Dangerous. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, just don't take in what you can't afford to spend, because I promise you're walking out of there light. It's just, or your wallet's going to be light. Your travel bag is going to be full.
Yeah. Opposite problem.
So I'll break my promise again by saying I'm not buying anything
Yeah.
at the convention.
Don't say that at Historicon. Just don't even bother.
I put zero stock in that when you say it anyway.
Yeah. So,
We still have to try that game.
Which game?
Is it a card game that you picked up at Adepticon?
Oh, Undaunted?
Yeah.
Yeah. Undaunted's a great game. You know what? We should do a video on that, because that is, even though it's historical, World War II based, anybody that likes card games ish would be able to play it. It's a great game. If you guys have not seen or played Undaunted, it's a great game. It's card based. It's a more casual game. It's not really for your heavy duty, historical gamers. However, if you're just looking to play something with a historical theme, just on a night, just want to sit down with a couple drinks and play a game, Undaunted is a great game. We should do that.
We'll have to do that.
I've never been to Partisan, John, but Damon always goes, and Damon sends back literally 800 photographs. So yeah, I definitely agree that Partisan is pretty awesome.
Hey, if Dennis is still with us, Dennis, what do you think about them coming out with the 3rd edition of Bolt Action? Because I know he plays Bolt Action quite a bit. So, which Undaunted? I have Battle Britain. I bought all 3.
Who are you talking to, John?
I bought Undaunted Normandy. I bought Undaunted Battle of Britain, and I bought North Africa.
So it's an air battle game, like a dogfight game, or?
No, it's cards, but I haven't seen how Battle of Britain plays. But basically, you have a map. It's like a battlefield, and you have chits that represent each individual guides. Kind of like squad based, and you move them from zone to zone, and you have cards that you use as your activation and actions. And the object is to capture strategic points. Zones. So and based on the scoring on the card is how you figure out initiative and what a unit can do and so on. So,
there you go.
Dennis says I was skeptical if we really needed a 3rd edition.
That was my thought. I mean, I'm not by any means super well versed in Bolt Action, but it seemed fairly streamlined to begin with.
Yeah.
So I'm just very curious what they changed to.
That's kind of Bolt Action claim to fame is, this is a boilerplate World War II. If you like it, you can add to Bolt Action, or because lots of people do that, and then or you could graduate up to other game systems.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jen agrees with you, Bill. Why buy one when you can buy them all?
Right?
Here it is.
Bill definitely in camp. Go big or go home.
Truth. All right. We're going to do something fun here. See that number?
Yep.
Okay. To everybody in the comments, pick a number between 1 and 50. 1 and 50. Closest without going over. We'll just do the closest. 1 and 50. Everybody in the comments. And you will win either a Warface mug or a SitRep podcast mug.
Did you sort out the Clash of Steel thing?
They never got back.
Well, I realized, but you have to pick a new winner for that too.
Tuffy says 25.
It's a good guess. It's right in the middle.
Right? Way to be in the middle there, Tuffy. Go big, then take it all home with you. At least we drove. John says 35.
Okay. Who else is in here?
There's about 7-ish. Jennifer says 41.
Okay. Beep, beep, beep.
We'll give it another minute. Get your guesses in. Come on, Dennis, guess.
Number between 1 and 50. 1
and 50. All right. There's also a new game I saw on Beast of War, and I have not had a chance to look it up, but let's Victory. Viscery?
That's different.
Victory. Can't type. V4 Victory. Tomahawk Studio has a new game out. That's the Beast of War article. Let me see. Tomahawk Studio. Tomahawk will create. They have a new game coming out.
Okay.
I'm trying to find the news article, guys.
It sounds World War II-ish with V for Victory.
It is. Why is it in Polish or French or whatever language that is?
To kick up the complexity on this.
Anyways, they have a new game coming out called V for Victory. It will be World War II, so I wonder if it's going to follow along the Saga rule sets. And then we'll go from there. Okay.
Can anyone explain Saga to me?
Saga's a great game.
Exactly. Everyone speaks highly of it, but whenever I see it, I'm like there's no command scale, there's no unit scale. It's just like the battles can be any size, which means range doesn't. Then again, that doesn't really play into Saga. So
Saga is based on a points value. You know, your war bands are so many points, and then you get activation, kind of like activation dice, and each type of warband has certain activations they can do, you know, like berserkers for Vikings or whatnot. And it's melee combat. There is some range combat, but a lot of it is just, you know, you maneuver and bash each other type stuff. It's supposed to represent Dark Age combat. So
it's very killy. It's a
very
hurry up, get in there and start hitting people.
So
that was one of the pictures I took at Adepticon, and you know, you never know how people are going to be that are at the tables when they're playing, because like some people are very enthusiastic for you to take pictures and like see what other people are like looking at you like, back, can you please go away? Like, we're playing a game here.
Yeah.
But I came upon these guys and they were like very intense. So I kind of wondered how it was going to go when I was trying to like take pictures. And then one guy turns and looks at me and he goes, "You realize what you're looking at here all started over the recipe for Grandma's prized cornbread." Like, it just was, I wasn't expecting. It was so funny. I was like, okay, you guys are fun.
We had, go ahead.
Oh, sorry, Jim. What's that number?
Number is 14.
14.
So I believe that puts Tuffy Ears
Tuffy
as our
Ears.
closest. Whoop, whoop.
Let us know.
I was waiting for someone to guess less than 25 because
I
Tuffy
know.
got 25. Then everybody else went above 25. I'm like, this is the opportunity for someone to jump in there and say like 15.
Yep.
Right?
Because
Yep.
Tuffy, because of what the other two people picked, Tuffy owns the whole bottom half of the range.
Yep.
I
That's true.
was wondering if Dennis was going to jump in here. I didn't see him.
I thought Saga was meant to reflect the name.
Heroic warbands. Yeah, because like if you don't know how many, okay, your warband is like 10 figures. Okay, how many people is that? Is it 10 or is it 100 or is it 1,000? That's going to affect range. And you said there isn't much range, but it's going to affect movement.
Yeah.
Is it even that tactical of a game, or is it?
No, it is. I mean, you're maneuvering, to get the best, to flank or whatnot. So
It's like Dux Britannica. I'm probably not saying it right. There's a few games that are like that. And when I ask how many people, like, what's the command scale? Here's your figure. Is that 1, 10, 1,000? Oh, it doesn't matter. It can be any. I'm like, actually, yeah, it really does matter, because that defines the size of the battlefield, and now your combat to maneuver coefficient is completely off.
I could be wrong, but I think Saga is 1-to-1. So.
Oh well, if it has one, then it has one. Okay.
Yeah.
But I would ask people, and they would never give me an answer. So I figured it was one of those amorphous games.
Yeah.
All right. Cool.
But, yeah. All right, Jim. I'm sorry. You had other thoughts, or
Oh no, I was just talking. I was going to say something about what Don was talking about when I was at Historicon, and Jerry and I would walk around to people's tables. We weren't taking pictures. No one had a problem with us taking pictures or video, unless we were blocking the game, which we weren't. But we would want to do interviews, and sometimes the people would be like, I mean, they were a little bit more polite than this, but not by much. They'd be like, "Hey, buzz off," except they didn't say buzz. They'd be like, "Dude, seriously." Because also Historicon, you might have that table for like 4 hours, and God save you if you don't have your table cleaned up at 4:01, because the next person is like, you're into my time. Yeah, so they're really busy a lot of times. They're trying to get their table set up. Then their table set up. Now they have to run it really fast. Then maybe they want to get a second game in. It's all of its participation style. So, and then they have to take it all down, and they can't be a minute late because the next person's there with their buggy of stuff waiting. And yeah, some of those tables get really competitive, and you have to book a table like a year in advance.
Oh wow!
So yeah, so some of the people are, you get like, I still have my book from Lord knows when. You get like this giant program. Table 619A of this hall on the 3rd floor is going to be running this scenario from this club in this city, and you better get there before like 4 and 8 p.m. or something, because they're only going to be up for 4 hours.
Wow.
Some of them have it for all day. Some of them have it for the whole convention. Some of them have it for 2 hours, 4 hours, 6 hours, something like that. So yeah, sometimes people are like, "Look, I'm not trying to be rude, but I really just don't have time to talk to you." And then some of the people are like, they'd sit there and yammer at you all day. It just depends.
Yeah.
Yep. So I do have a question for our audience and those who pop in and out of the videos. What kind of video do you like watching the most? Is it a podcast video? Is it a gameplay video? Is it a hobby video? Is it an op center video? I don't know if I told you this or not, Jim, but at Adepticon, we had op center playing on the screen.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
And a lot of people,
it stopped people in their tracks
Yeah.
when they were walking by.
Yes.
Like, it definitely got attention.
Oh,
I'll tell you, we had the most ideal location, if not being inside. We were right next to the men's room. So
there you go. The bar or the men's room, that's where you want to be.
Yeah. So yeah, we got a lot of foot traffic because people had to go past us to go to the men's room. So,
when it wasn't being cleaned and not open.
Yeah. So, but people would stop and watch the op center on there, and they may not stay for a whole episode, but they'd stay for a good 5-10 minutes to watch bits of it.
It was a good conversation starter, because people would literally stop in their tracks, watch it for a couple minutes, and if they didn't catch it at a point where it was readily identifiable as being op center, they would ask the question, what am I looking at? So it opened nice conversation.
We tried to keep, at the end, I was trying to keep them to like 15, 20 minutes. So 15 really, each part.
So if we are able to do Historicon, which is the plan, we'll have that running there as well. And people are going to want to see it there too. So, I mean, that'll be awesome.
Going by our YouTube metrics, it's the edited gameplay gets most of the views. Game reviews, we've only done a few of them. Assault got like 450 views, but that was also in the middle of Adepticon, so that might be a false high. Yeah, that's what gets most of them is the gameplay videos that get edited down. The live stream ones, maybe not so much. Like I used to
not initially, but review. So, yep.
Cool.
Yeah, Yeah, we need another big bump for subscribers. We've slowed down a little bit, but
Historicon would help with that.
almost definitely, But
You know what I just thought about though?
What's that?
So the booth is up with the guys.
yes, I know.
So that would be a trip there to
Yeah.
go.
Well, we'll probably have to go up there before July anyways.
That's true.
Or they got to come down.
That's true.
Either or, we'll figure it out. All right,
You
guys.
drive to Historicon?
Yeah.
I guess you'd have to if you're going to bring the booth. Wow, that's
Yeah.
going to be a...
And it's not that far for us, I don't think. Oh, let's look. Google Map it. I mean, we drive
Western-
every place. All right. Where's it held, Jim?
Lancaster, Pennsylvania. It's like 2 hours west
Not
of
Met-
Philadelphia.
We've done a lot of driving the last 2 weekends.
Yeah.
It's a lot of... I want to go there one time, not Historicon, because there's a lot of... the Valley Forge is right in that area.
Yeah.
A lot of American Revolution stuff. Technically, you're in southern Pennsylvania, so Gettysburg is right around there. Civil War as well.
It's
Valley
a 12-hour.
Forge, Germantown. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a 12-hour drive.
It's not as bad as I thought it would be.
No. We could fly. We could just have the booth shipped. Or
Oh, I'm flying. Oh, I promise you that. I'm flying, and I always just half pack one suitcase because I know I'm coming back with a bunch of crap.
That's a good idea. Yeah.
we'll probably drive. I mean, it is what it is. It's only a 12-hour drive. So
What would be a good topic for Op Center? When Bill came up with the idea for the Op Center, I was like, I got to build up to Desert Storm. And I was like, 2 years from now, this is like a long time ago. 2 years from now is the 30th anniversary of Desert Storm. So I'll do the Op Center with a view of getting to Desert Storm. And we got to Desert Storm, and I kind of stopped after that. So I don't know. There is no bigger modern war after that. I mean, unless you want to do Ukraine, Syria, Enduring Freedom, Iraqi Freedom, we could probably do something like that. There's some good magazine articles, some good, like, you can't go by YouTube videos. There's a lot of trash on YouTube and heavy. I won't mention any names, but there are some people with big subscriber counts, multiple millions of subscribers. They put a video up about a historical topic, and within the day, they have like 300,000 views.
Yeah.
The bigger the channel, the worse they are. Trust me, there is some trash out there. Like, I've seen some bad stuff about like Anaconda, Tora Bora, stuff like that in the early part of Afghanistan. I don't know, something like that. If we wanted to stick with moderns,
well,
near
I
the
was,
end of Op Center,
saying,
we would start to alternate a little between.
Yeah. Well, I was going to say you should do Op Center Classic, and you could do the Revolutionary War. I mean, why not promote what you got your name for, buddy?
It's true. See, I'll do a 4-part series just on Oriskany, and then
Yeah, hell yeah. There you
now,
go.
now you guys are going to be like, God damn, how long is it going to talk about this one battle? It lasted 15 minutes, and it had like maybe 1,000 people in it. That's when you count both sides.
Yeah. But seriously, I mean, recent trends, people have been hammering, obviously, World War II and modern stuff. If we wanted to do an Op Center that's kind of outside the curve, I would say Revolutionary War, or something similar. I mean, why not go back to your namesake?
I wouldn't mind it. The problem is Revolutionary War content on our channel has never done well.
Yeah, I mean, we've grown a little bit, but you know what? It's outside the box.
It would definitely be new. It would be something different. I got the army sword.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got to buy some loyalists. I don't have any green jackets. That's the only thing I don't have.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. What do you guys out there think? Would something from the American Revolution interest you in an Op Center? Because I like your in-depth detail of the backgrounds that I don't think a lot of people. Because I'll be honest with you, I only know what I know from school, really, and then a little bit of outside, from a PBS special or something. But
why the American Revolution is not bigger here in the United States as a war game, I honestly don't know. More Americans played Napoleonics, and who gives a shit about Napoleon? That's just me. I can't stand Napoleonics. The battles are too big. So all the games for Napoleonics lately have been skirmish, which defeats the point of Napoleonics. Yeah, you've got big colorful uniforms, but you have to paint 250,000 of them to.
Yeah, it's
I don't know.
pretty-
I mean, I get American Civil War because especially here in the South, American Civil War is always huge down here. Strange how the people that lost the war are the ones that were most into it.
Right.
Yeah, there you get into a whole lot of blue, a whole lot of gray, a whole lot of butternut. Yeah. It's. I don't know that much about the American. I mean, I'm conversant in the Civil War, but the American Revolution, the battles are small. We're the underdogs. Okay, we lose most of the battles, but we eventually win the war. There's a ton of different factions. It's not just blue versus red. Iroquois Confederacy, Loyalists. There's tons of factions, and it's small, and it's talk about narrative. I mean, it's a lot more narrative than the Napoleonics. I mean, really.
Yeah. Oh, let's see. The American Revolution, that's one we British let you win, right? Yeah. About that there, Tuffy.
Yeah, what's that? Your 24th South Wales border is your Heroes of Zulu who surrendered to us at Saratoga.
Oh, I know you did not.
Yeah, that's not the same regiment. It's the same regiment. Stop coping. Stop coping. It's the same regiment. Wait for the comment that says it technically isn't the same regiment. It's the same regiment. Trust me. They try to put a dog leg in the history to get around that. It's not my fault. Blame Johnny Burgoyne. That was just one mass surrender. Never mind British war crimes. 25,000 Americans died in that war. 11,000 of them died aboard British prison ships. So tread lightly.
Man, he's hitting below the belt today.
Whenever I used to write for American Revolution on tabletop, we'd get a lot because it's mostly a British community over there. We get a lot of pushback and be like, okay, now we kind of turned into it. Like the first big article series I wrote for them, I co-wrote with a British guy, and we would actually like go back and forth. Like he would write the first 2 paragraphs, I'd write the next 2 or whatever, and we'd write it from different POVs and like lead into it. Yeah. Like I'd be like, the godless lobsterbacks try to come across the Concord Bridge. We shot the piss out of those bastards and sent them running back to King George with their balls in the sling. And then he'd write the next couple paragraphs. Those damn rebels, ungrateful colonials, were shooting us from behind trees. What kind of warfare is this? They've got nails cast through the musket balls so the surgeons can't take them out. I'm like, you're the guys with the 3-sided bayonet that is medically impossible to ever sew closed. So, again, tread lightly over there. But
it's funny.
Yeah, as far as whether or not the British let us win, there's actually a little. I mean, all kidding aside, there's a little bit of truth to that. Once you have the huge British surrender at Saratoga, and the French come in, and the Spanish come in, and the Dutch come in, it becomes a much broader war, which the British definitely win. They win in Gibraltar, they win in the English Channel, they win in the Caribbean, they win in India. That's pretty much the birth of the Victorian Empire. That's where Britain wound up with most of India. I mean, before it was kind of split down the middle between them and the French. French lost all their holdings in India, and before they could kind of settle all these wars and calm everything down, they had to like sign all these paper. The Treaty of Paris, 1783. They wound up losing America in that deal, and they were like, you know what? It's like I always say, like, picture you go to a casino and you're playing blackjack, and then halfway through the hand, it's like, oh yeah, I'll split. And before you know it, you're playing like 6 hands of blackjack. You win. Okay, you lose this one over here, and then you're like, you know what? That's fine. You take your winnings and you laugh all the way to the bank. Well, technically, that little hand off to the side would eventually spawn the most powerful nation the world has ever seen. So sorry about that.
You know what though? We're all friends now. We're all buddies. It's just like, you beat up your cousin or your cousin beats you up and you still like him after a while. Heads up, your chat isn't coming across, I think. Oh no.
According to John Sowerby, it is. He has the little YouTube icon underneath his name there. Underneath his letter.
Not sure what's going on. Sorry, buddy.
John Sowerby, that is correct. If you sat down with a blank book and you rewrote all of world history and you applied the criteria that we call World War I and World War II, why we call them that.
Yep.
Yeah, it's World War I is technically the 7 Years' War. Napoleonics War would be World War II. World War I would be World War III. World War II would be World War IV, and now we'd all be worried about World War V.
Interesting.
A global war between two rough coalitions, all happening at the same time with multiple theaters running in parallel, like, concurrently.
Yeah. Well, so yeah, Jim, I think an op center would be good. I just Dawn's shit over here shaking her head silently because I'm on the WoFund site. Just saying, looking at an inspiration, if you will, for the American War of Independence. I don't have to paint them. I just got to punch them out of the acrylic and put them on stands, and we can go
I
to
like
battle.
punching stuff out.
Yes, the price is a little steep, but everything's already done. These are 18 mil. You can do them in 18 or 28 mil. So I have the Zulu one. Surprised anybody, but
Surprised to no one.
right? So I like these WoFund guys. If you guys are looking to get into a certain game, WoFund has some pretty cool stuff. They have, American Revolution, Civil War, the Wild West, Texas Revolution, Antiquities. They have Napoleonics, and they have rules for some of them too. I have not played the rules. I might have to order the rules just so we can take a look at them, Jim. Actually, they're free. They're free download. And
Cool.
yeah.
Because we've done Trenton at least twice on the show.
Yes.
We've
Yeah,
done Kings Mountain.
Yeah, Kings Mountain. That was a great game. That was a great game. You know what? I tell you what, if you guys out there, if you are really interested in certain battles, if you have the ability to visit the actual battlefield, it brings so much perspective home. Like Kings Mountain is an example. I went and visited Kings Mountain, knew not much about it until I actually visited it because Dawn was at a convention and I didn't have anything to do. So I drove around North Carolina and found Kings Mountain, just accidentally driving around. So I stopped to take a look and learned the battlefield and conditions and everything. And then I said, "Hey, John, I saw this, battlefield, Kings Mountain." He goes, "Oh yeah," and we started talking about it. And then he designed a game for it. I can't remember what rule set you used, but we played Kings Mountain, the Battle of Kings Mountain.
Battlefield Rebellion.
Yeah. So we played that, and it was great. And I'll be honest with you, playing it and then seeing in my mind the way the hill, the mountain, if you will, was set up and how the British had to come up and how the Americans came up and the British were on top. So, yeah, it was pretty awesome.
Tuffy Ears was talking earlier about visiting the D-Day beaches. I've been to every single one of those. I've got sand for every one of those beaches, all the drop sites, all the Pegasus Bridge, obviously both of them, as well as Horsell Bridge, 400 meters further to the east. Yeah, I'll tell you what, man, you go to Omaha Beach, there's a little hotel right where Dog One used to be. It's now kind of a highway ramp where there's a little cafe and a hotel right there. The Omaha Museum is right on top of that. You go there when the tide is right, and which I got lucky and it was at the time, like 6:30 in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
You walk 100 yards out into that water, you turn around and you start to walk back. That's a come to Jesus moment. Like you can almost hear people like screaming for medics and shit, and that's a haunting moment. And of course, you go to all the other beaches as well.
Yeah.
Obviously been to Saratoga a couple times. Believe it or not, Oriskany's not much to look at. It's a tiny
Well,
battle.
you're a fine physical specimen. Oh, you mean the bathroom?
All right.
All right.
Well, thank you very much. But I'm afraid I'm seeing someone right now. So Antietam sounds like a scary one. I've never been to Antietam. I have been to Yorktown, Dennis. But yeah, Antietam's pretty scary. I've been to Fredericksburg. Some of the American Civil War battlefields up and down Shenandoah Valley. So yeah, there's plenty of them. I couldn't agree more. Once you actually walk the real estate, like been to the spot where Benedict Arnold was shot at Saratoga.
Mhm.
Second time he was shot. They still have his little monument there. It depends on how well it's been preserved. Some battlefields hadn't really made it. We went to like in the Normandy area. You go to Carentan. Carentan's not really. It's all like with their version of Walmart and ShopRite, and it's all strip malls and stuff. Saint-Mère-Église is basically Epcot. I mean, you got little kids with plastic helmets and machine guns running around. It's kind of a pain in the ass. But you go to Saint-Marin-du-Mont, like right up the road, and it's like, if it wasn't in black and white, you swear you would just like step back into the 40s. It looks almost exactly the way it did at the time. I mean, Saint-Mère-Église is great. It's just so many people go there, and it's become like such a tourist trap that it kind of feels like a tourist trap a little bit. You can't go visit Brecourt Manor. It's on someone's private property, and he doesn't want anyone like stomping around on his yard or whatever. So it's not on any of the tour maps. It's not on any of the things. So I tried to find it. I had like my Google Maps, and I had like my 1944 map, and we're driving around in our rented Volkswagen. And I'm like, I'm gonna find this because I'm a risky Jim. Check me out. And we got hopelessly lost, like halfway to Spain before we turn around. I'm like, all right. We get back to Saint-Mère-Église, and I walk up to one of the tour guides, and there's this little French girl behind the counter, and she was like, "Oh, they all speak perfect English because of where they work." I'm like, "Oh, hi, how you doing?" I'm like, "Can you show me on this map where Brecourt Manor is?" And she kind of looks to one side. She looks, because they're not supposed to do this. She looks around like this, make sure no one's looking. She reaches under the desk, looks around again, comes out with this Xerox copy with this blue Sharpie marker or whatever, like showing where it is. So I come back out to the car, and here's Jen. She's like, "Did you find out where it is?" I have been in contact with the French Resistance. I know where this place is. And they have like a big plaque, like a big monument there, but you're not really supposed to go, like on the corner of his property. You're not really supposed to go on his property. Mortain was like that. I was there for this exact 70th anniversary of that, 7 August 1944. It's on his private property, but he kind of preserves it like it's like top of a hill. And you go to his house, and or you go to the hill where I think it was 120th U.S. Infantry, 30th Division was deployed, and he's got like these sheets stapled to his trees in those plastic document protectors or whatever. He's like, "Look, if you want to come walk around on my hill, you can. Just knock on my door. Here's my house." And I knocked on his door. There was no one home, so I went up the hill anyway. And yeah, the foxholes are still there.
Wow.
Like the radio pit where they were calling in artillery on like 4 German SS Panzer Grenadier divisions, or the remnants thereof. I mean, that's one of those battles you don't hear of, because everyone talks about Omaha and everyone talks about Band of Brothers, Saving Private Ryan. The real fight comes afterwards. So 7 August 1944, Battle of Mortain. If you ever hear about it, a bunch of guys from Tennessee. I think it was 30th Division. I think it's Old Hickory. I think that's Tennessee. 3 regiments of Tennessee National Guard got put together to form that division, and fought one of the defensive actions. I mean, it's pretty badass. But yeah, cool. Never Jim described as a battlefield. Yeah, that's me. In battlefield, people always attack me. They always fail. But yeah, John and Patrick were talking about World War I battlefields. I haven't been to any of those.
Mm-mm.
Those have got to be crazy. I know there are some battlefields you still can't visit because there's still unexploded ordnance. Like there's all signs of you still can't go there.
Yeah.
From over 100 years ago, there's still mines and artillery shells all in the mud. And they're like it's either like you can't go there or go at your own risk or something like that. I don't know what the rule is.
Yeah, sign this waiver.
Something like that.
Yep. So I'll probably be doing the battlefield tour of Shiloh this summer. So like we did at Fort Donelson last year. Probably make a trip down to Shiloh. It's only 2 hours from my house. So
that's another nasty one.
Yeah. So we'll do that one. Don will be excited.
I actually like going to Fort Donelson. That was very interesting.
Yeah. So Cool. All right, guys. Well, we're hitting that 1 hour and 30-minute mark, so we're going to go ahead and close out the show. But you know what? We should talk about some World War I stuff in one of our shows because there's a lot to it. You know, I do see things in European news blips every once in a while about this French farmer found some unexploded big old shell or something like that. So. Thank you for not pooping.
Yeah,
John.
no pooping in the chat, John. Appreciate it.
One of those 1st Battalion shits took a shit in my foxhole.
All right, guys. Thank you very much. We appreciate you. Please like, subscribe, share, help us grow. Let's see if we can hit 2,000 subscribers soon. Tough Ears, you did message me. Excelente. And we'll get that out to you and look for more prizes to come soon. And like I said, if you guys are interested in some custom merch, if you have a game coming up and you want to get some special t-shirt to promote your army, let us know and we'll work on a design for you. That's
And
WY.
that is how you diffuse an argument between British and Americans about the American Revolution. You mentioned the French. There you go.
Yeah, I love
Fight
it.
is immediately over.
Wait, we're on the same team. Okay. Yeah.
And we're done. All right. We'll see you guys in the next one. We appreciate it, Jim. Thank you as always, sir.
Yep.
Guys, great comments. And we'll see you